Hi everyone, I'm Linwood Fields. I'm head of film at the Audience Awards, and today we are officially starting our summer series for ProConvos, where we get to meet with people who are professionals in the film industry. And we are very happy to have today Paige Williams, founder and CEO of the Audience Awards. Thanks, Paige. Paige, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Let's go ahead and start with just a few questions that I had off the bat. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about your filmmaker history and background.
Sure. I went to school for filmmaking at the University of Montana and graduated and tried to think, okay, what am I going to do now? So I had written a short film script loosely based on a family situation of mine. And I decided to make it a documentary, and that was Mississippi Queen. And so I took a couple of the friends from grad school that I graduated with and did some fundraising. Back then it was MySpace and YouTube, and said, hey, if you give me money through PayPal, I will send you this t-shirt. And I posted it on my MySpace page. And of course, now that concept is Kickstarter. This was way before Kickstarter. But that's how I fundraised for my first documentary. And we raised about $7,500 and went and made the film, and it got distribution across 6 different countries, picked up by Film Buff and Sundance TV, and screened at about 100 film festivals and won some awards. And to support myself through that, of course, is doing, as many of us do, production work, filming live events and just videos, corporate videos, business videos, and made a couple of short films in between. And then the last feature documentary I made was called From Place to Place. And it was about 6 kids and what happens to them when they age out of foster care at the age of 18 and what happens to them. And 2 of them, their voices really shined. And we submitted a grant to Tribeca and had cut a short piece for that grant, and someone on Capitol Hill saw it. And so we were invited, the team, to go to DC and talk to the Senate about the issues that foster care kids face when they age out. And as a result of that, we changed national and state legislation. Obama signed a bill into law that addressed everything that Rafe and Mandy brought up on September 11 of 2011. And that film is used for training, and that the solution to foster care is to find family and to connect into family, and that a lot of us have family members in foster care we don't even know. So a lot of that legislation was about letting family members be notified, and so that there are permanent relationships in a kid's life as they graduate. So as a filmmaker, my focus has definitely been in helping advance unheard voices. Mississippi Queen was about the parody of homosexuality and religion in Mississippi and what happens in family and how it's used to break apart families, but can also be used to bring families together. And how do we be a family when we don't agree and see eye to eye, especially when Jesus is involved? It can be pretty touchy. So my work as a filmmaker has been how to advance a voice that isn't heard very much. By the end of From Place to Place, I followed those 6 kids for 3 years, and I was pretty worn out. It was a dark time, and I started looking around for something new to do. And Denny Staggs, who was the film commissioner of Montana at the time, had a great idea to start a Montana-centric YouTube channel. So he came to me to ask how to get that content. And I thought, well, not only do we need content, but you have to drive an audience. So I came up with this concept of the Audience Awards. I thought, that's a really great idea. And I bought the URL and started the company. And that was 4 years ago this month. I wasn't going to let the Kickstarter idea just go through again. And so I put some action behind that. Along the way, I had been teaching some business school classes at the University of Montana in entertainment management about how to fund a film and how to be a filmmaker, and connecting really the intersection of art and commerce. So I'd spent several years in this field of how we support our filmmaking and creative habits financially. Oh, you're muted.
Okay, so one of the main topics we were going to talk about today is how you fund your short film career. Do you want to talk a little bit about how we can do that?
Sure. Well, I think, one of the goals of the Audience Awards, I'll talk about that specifically, since this is ProPerks, is to help filmmakers have opportunities to hone their craft, to start working with brands, to get film festival premieres, to be a part of a community that is engaged and basically have a film festival experience that happens 365 days of the year and not just the 3 days that you're at a film festival. So what we do in the original concept of Audience Awards is provide a place that's a home for short films. So you travel the festival circuit or you go to your local film festival and you see great shorts and you can never find them. And so Audience Awards provides a place for you to put your short film when it's ready to go online and connect it to that film festival, but also to the genre that it's in. And then you get to reach out to your audience and say, hey, now you can finally watch that video or that film I've been talking about for so long and vote for it. And then we give away prizes and awards. We are also offering this new resource where you're going to have hundreds of dollars of savings for your filmmaker tool belt. So that's another way that we're helping filmmakers accelerate their career. The way that we quickly realized we could keep the doors open to the Audience Awards is that brands want access to you guys and to quality filmmakers. And so we started the branded video contest pretty quickly right out of the gate. And so our job within the company is to go find brands and organizations and mission-based places that want a certain type of content and want you guys to create it for them. And then we get to award you prizes for the best content. You get to work with that brand. Many of our filmmakers have been discovered through our platform and have gotten web series and television network deals, as well as big time festival premieres. And we've given away hundreds of thousands of dollars to filmmakers. And so we kind of created this environment that does what I originally set out, which is connecting art and commerce and how we accelerate our careers and also fund our careers as we're getting going. So it's a non-traditional model, but it's a way that's really worked for a lot of our filmmakers.
Yeah, and I was wondering, something I've always wanted to ask you is, what are the thing that you're the most proud about with the Audience Awards?
There is a lot. I have an amazing team, and I love the people I have surrounded myself with. And to come to work every day and to get to work with you guys and that team is quite an honor. So I love the company culture that we've built. I think it's really cool. I think we're very unique. I think that our community outside of our company, our members of our site, feel that and got to experience that at Ozzfest. So I think that our company culture and the way we love and support filmmakers is extended out into our 150,000 base. The other thing that I'm super proud of is the opportunity that we provide diverse voices. I think it is so important to give a platform to filmmakers who can change the world. And that's what the Audience Awards does. And so that core mission of the Audience Awards of celebrating and honoring diverse voices who don't necessarily have a platform to stand on is super cool.
I have lots of questions, but I would love to open it up a little bit too. So if anybody has some questions right now they'd like to ask, I see a hand raised. And if you guys could introduce yourselves, just your name and then your question. Go ahead.
My name is Kate Truesdell, and I just want to know how Audience Awards connects filmmakers to other aspects of the film industry aside from just your online platform.
Sure. So a lot of our video contests and brand film challenges have film festival premieres. So we have, our filmmakers have screened at Hot Docs, Slam Dance, DCEFF, Big Sky Documentary Film Festival, Ozzfest. We host our own Audience Awards Film Festival now in LA, so it gives filmmakers the opportunity to tie into the industry in LA and have a screening there. And then we also provide opportunities for filmmakers to work for networks and publishing companies, which is huge for a filmmaker.
Go ahead.
So I'm Christian Kimley, and I am curious, what is it that drew you to film in the first place when you were in college?
I did not do film in college. I'm a philosophy major, and theater, and did some women's studies and psychology. So just super like liberal arts. And then I went to college in Mississippi at a great liberal arts school called Millsaps, and graduated and moved to Montana. That was back in 1999. And then I started doing social work and was pretty bored and was looking around for something to do. And I was told my whole life, I mean, I spent my life like tearing things apart and putting things together. Actually, I'm not good at putting things together, but tearing things apart and figuring out how they work. And always had, you know, colors in my hand or paints, and was always on stage and always pretty loud and always pretty different and not really Southern bellish, etc. And always wanting to do that creative, go that creative way, which I was a little bit discouraged from my parents. I wanted to go to Tisch, and my daddy said, no dollar of mine's going to New York City. So I graduated from college and moved to Montana, many thousand miles away from home, and stayed. And after doing some social work for a while, was pretty bored and knew that I had to get back into the arts. So I went and did a graduate degree and started off in directing theater. And a mentor of mine who had started the media arts program here said, why don't you come over here and learn to run a camera so that when you graduate with a master's, you actually can have a job. And I thought, well, that's smart. So I ended up with a double master's in directing theater and filmmaking, and then really started the education of what is great storytelling. You know, in school, we had a strong writing program, but then, you know, how do you use a camera to tell a story, and how do you connect with people to engage and move an audience? And that really started after my formal training. But to me, then making the leap from filmmaker to an entrepreneur of a media company, a tech startup, every film is its own little business because you have to fundraise for it, you have to support it, you have to staff it, you have to live with it through distribution. And so this was just kind of a natural progression of, okay, well, what's next? Like, what's the next step? And I kind of have this servant's heart where I want to serve people who are like-minded. And so it made sense for me to create a platform that helped filmmakers and helped their voices. I'm not a great filmmaker. I think I'm good at telling stories, and I'm good at team building, but I'm not, I never won a jury award. I always won the audience award because I was able to resonate. And so I find that translates in my tech life as well, that I can really tell the story of the audience awards and keep the doors open so that we provide more opportunities for filmmakers, which is our goal.
Any other questions? I would love to know what kind of opportunities are coming up for filmmakers on the site.
We currently have 2 tourism campaigns, one for Virginia and one for Louisiana. You don't have to live there to submit. And they're giving away between the 2 of them $40,000. And I believe some of those have film festival screenings. And I just got off the line with the New Orleans Film Festival about the Louisiana campaign. So they have a screening there as well. It's a great festival. We have an LGBTQ challenge that's coming up that's going to have distribution with Here TV. A Native American challenge. We're going right into another women's film challenge with festival premieres. And we have some big brand opportunities coming up we're going to be running another GoDaddy campaign where they call for a cool video about something related to their mission, and you can make a bunch of money with that. We have our genre-based film festivals every month. So in honor of LGBTQ month, we have a festival that you can submit to right now online with an amazing jury, including some of those here partners and Chris from Ozzfest. And then we have adventure shorts and animation, and all of these come with prizes, and they come with meeting industry experts and the jurors who watch your films. And then the best of those films go and screen at Ozzfest, and then you get to meet them in LA as well. And so there's some other things that are coming up that aren't open yet that we can't talk about it, but a lot of great opportunities on the site.
And I know that you've switched now to the ability to do a pro subscription. Can you talk a little bit about that, why you do that, what that offers your filmmakers?
Yeah, so you can submit to one of our online film festivals and pay a fee, or you can submit for free if you pay us $5 paid annually or $7.99 a month. But what you get is kind of this Vimeo model where you have 20 gigabytes a week and storage and password protection and an ad-free experience and all this great stuff. But the two, I think, bonus features of being a pro on the community is you learn about, or three features. You learn about the opportunities that are coming up first. You get free entries to all of our film challenges, which they can run $100. So to pay $60, that's quite a deal. And then also you get pro perks. So we're launching this amazing film resources page where you, Linwood, have put together all of these resources for filmmakers to accelerate their career. So you can talk a little bit more about it, but color correcting and DCP and using imagery for free and music rights. And our job is just to continue to bring in all the people who support filmmakers and offer discounts to accelerate your career. And then bi-weekly, we're going to be doing these pro conversations, and I'm happy to kick it off and then pass on the baton, where you as a pro get to meet with industry experts to talk about your career. And we have some amazing people. We have the CEO of Steven Spark up next. We have Jeremy Sauter, who is responsible for marketing every single Paramount picture. So if you want to know how to go from an indie filmmaker to breaking into the big six, come meet with Jeremy and ask him questions. Roberta is going to be amazing, Monroe, about how to really accelerate your career and how to support yourself as an independent filmmaker, and we'll keep building those opportunities. And so for us, launching the resources page is really an incredible way to help filmmakers get to the next level and save some money along the way.
That's awesome. I mean, I don't have much more to add except for we're really trying to be a one-stop shop for filmmakers to get resources, get opportunity, know about film festivals, and learn, because your tool belt can never have too many tools on it as a filmmaker. And,
yeah, absolutely. And some stuff that's coming maybe we should talk about. So yeah, we are partnering with film festivals to automate their audience awards balloting. So no more will Sundance have to count paper and pen ballots or any other festival. And also providing a brand channel for every film festival, where if you screened at their festival, you can upload their film, it's connected to them, and you have your filmmaker profile, and that can live on their site, it lives on our site. You can use your portfolio as, here's all the links to my films, and here's how to get in touch with me, and here's all my social network. And so thinking about that one-stop shop of connecting filmmaker and film festivals and brands, and providing all the resources as well as internal jurying and global audience voting to drive engagement. And the reason I think this is important is because as creators, we are the ones who are going to move the needle in progress in the world. And the more 15-second, 30-second, 1 minute, 2 minute, 30-minute films that we produce that create an impact on the world, then the more we can advance a mission that is forward-facing and helps advance that arc of the moral universe. And so for me, it's a little bit back to my philosophy degree of why we create and how to support ourselves along the way.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think one of the reasons that we created this whole webinar series of ProConvos is we got a lot of feedback at Ozzfest, where we really have become this place where we know industry professionals and we have wonderful indie filmmakers. And so Audience Awards is becoming this like middleman almost in a way
Totally.
of those two worlds. And so the hope with these pro convos and the seminars and the summer series is just to really continue that conversation, because as we know, filmmaking is a network, and the more you can get knowledge, the more you can meet those people, the better you can do. And it's amazing who we are connected to at this point.
Absolutely. And the more they get to know us, the filmmakers in our community, the more opportunities our community can tie into some real big deals. And also those influencers are connected to the brands and to the opportunities that will pay you money and will hire you and give you a job. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's super exciting. And we do have time. If anybody wanted to do one more question, we have time for one more question. But anyone out there? Oh, Christian.
Hey, me again. So if you could give one piece of advice to an upcoming filmmaker based on what you've experienced, both in your career, filmmaking, and here with the Audience Awards, Paige, what would that piece of advice be?
Networking and connection is everything. And you never know who you're meeting and how that person may serve you, and you may serve them the next day or 5 years down the road. I'll give you an example. I was at the Oxford Film Festival with my film, and I met Steve Beckman. And Steve ended up picking up both of my films and distributing them. And then when he left the company that picked up my films, Film Buff, he became a producer and content manager at YouTube. And so now we're connected through YouTube, and Audience Awards is connected there. And there's other great examples of how meeting people and connecting helps advance both what I'm trying to get done in the world, but also what they want to get done. And so you treat everyone with dignity and respect and ask how you can be of service, and that tends to be the best advice I think that I could possibly give.
Paige, thank you so much for your time. This was great. And also, this whole video will be posted on the audienceawards.com, and we're going to have a lot of upcoming things on our resource page. So please reach out and be ready for the next seminar.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.